And we're back now with the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers. Mr. Chairman, it's being reported in the paper today there were 2 more U.S. drone strikes in Yemen that may have killed 11 suspected al-Qaeda militants. Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, we can't talk about specific operational details or how it's accomplished, but the good news is we didn't find Yemen last week. We have been well on to Yemen for some time, building the capacity so that we could take necessary steps when they present themselves through intelligence gathering to bring folks to justice. Like
you can at least confirm that the strike took place and that U.S. drones were part of it.
Can't talk about the type of operation, but
Okay.
there may have been airstrikes that have been successful.
All right, I want to ask you about this whole deal about this double agent that managed to get this sophisticated new underwear bomb and how this plot was foiled. And as I understand it, we now have the bomb. We know where it came from and all of that. But there were these leaks. And in the beginning, the administration seemed to come on television and basically confirm all of this. And then a report came up that, wait a minute, this was not a U.S. agent involved. It was a British agent. And the administration seemed to pull back. I mean, what's going on here?
Well, I wish that common sense pullback would have happened much sooner. You know, when this information like this gets leaked, Bob, it is incredibly damaging to our intelligence community's ability to take that investigation through all of its natural course. There are somebody getting up in Yemen today trying to figure out what that next generation of bomb looks like that circumvents airport security and gets on an airplane to kill and slaughter innocent people. Any information that is leaked out reference to that, the operational details, who we were or were not working with overseas, is dangerous for us to try to catch the next generation of bombers who we know are existing and running around.
Do you have any idea what the motivation was for the leak? Was it somebody in the U.S. government that was trying to take credit for this, or they wanted the news? What do you make of this?
Well, I think there was a little premature chest thumping in this whole thing, and I've ordered a preliminary review, and I will tell you this has been a damaging leak. We shouldn't underestimate what really happened here. When you jeopardize our Foreign Service liaison partners, any of them that may or may not have been involved, or you jeopardize the conclusion of wrapping up all of the people involved, that's dangerous to our national security.
But let me make sure I understand what you just said here. You're saying that somebody in the U.S. government prematurely leaked this to take credit for it, to brag about it.
Well, you said brag about it, I said chest thumping, but it clearly raises some serious questions that we're going to have to ask. We do know that the CIA was trying to stop the story, and we know that there was a scheduled White House, or at least planned, press conference on the particular event. And those two desperate positions leads one to believe that there was someone was at odds about how much they should or shouldn't talk about it. And just the very thought that they were going to go through with that and not put full pressure on to not let this story out before all the operation was done.
What you're saying here, I mean, stories come about. I've always said news gets out because somebody wants it out. But what you're saying here is not that this is not something that the Associated Press or some other news agency stumbled on. This was something that was deliberately leaked by somebody in the administration and against the wishes of the CIA.
Well, it's clear that the information was leaked, and that information was presented at some point to the CIA. The CIA at that point tried to put that story back in the can for security reasons. We had people's lives were at stake during this particular operation. And that's where it gets a little murky, which is why I've ordered the review. This is not anything that should be used for a headline. Our national security should be exempt from any November at any time in any year. That operation shouldn't be dictated its conclusion based on any other agenda other than when it's fully completed for our national security. And that's where we have to make sure.
Did the administration play straight with you as the chairman of the Intelligence Committee?
Well, unfortunately, no.
Really?
The press knew about. Normally, I'll give you an example. When the UBL operation was well underway, I became chairman 3 days later, 6 months before the operation, 5 months. We were brought in, briefed, and we were briefed regularly on all the operational developments, right up to the phone call saying, "Hey, we're going." was very different. So not only did they not notify Congress, which is, by the way, law under the National Security Act of 1947, they're obligated to do it. And I argue, for reasons, this is what we're talking about, there's a reason you do that, so you can have that third-party independent eye on these kinds of operations, because they are serious, dangerous, and classified. And it was interesting that even though the press went to the agency and talked about this particular event, nobody thought at the White House it was important enough to come and live up to the constitutional and statutory rule to notify Congress. It was very concerning. That's why there's just a lot of questions that have been raised in this. And again, no national security operation ever should be used for a headline under any circumstances when you jeopardize the lives.
So what are you going to do?
I'm conducting that preliminary review. We will make a determination, either a full-blown committee investigation, or we'll refer it to criminal charges to the FBI.
Congressman Owen, thank you very much for coming to see us this morning.
Thanks, Bob.